Hey there, welcome back guys. This video is special thanks to Lindsay from Cailab for sending us the filament. We have 4 different colors. We have the 200Gs, which is great, just enough to print something. But like always, when you send us filament, we will put it to the test. We already have something printed with another filament, similar to Creality print. But let's put it to the test. We want to print another one of these and see if it'll hold one of these. Okay, so without any further ado, let's get started. I'll show you what we have printed, because you can put this on your, if you have a spool holder on your printer, right? But we have a CFS system, the Creality filament system, so it's not going to work because it's too small. And that's why we printed this here, so that we can make things just right for you with this. So come. Okay, let's see what we have here. We're going to put this in here like this. So this part, it prints in like that with one piece. And you put it in like that, and the other piece prints the spacer, prints like you put separately, and then now we put this in like that. Okay, and then this one's a little bit tricky to hold the spacer in, but it's doable. Just want to make sure that it doesn't fall out. If it does, it's okay, because you can pretty much seat it back in easily, wind it up. And then once it starts to wind, you can let go. And now you can put a smaller spool into your printer without having to use the filament winder spool. So you don't need, see, voila. So let's bring this into the printer and see if we can print another one of these in white and whichever color we have there, and put it to the test. Will it hold? Come. Okay, so there we go. We have this one. We're going to put this right over here and remove probably the gray. We have white in there, but I just want to keep the color sequence. Actually, it doesn't really matter, right? We should pull one out. Pull out the white. I have one somewhere around here. These little filament holder thingies. All right, so I'll put this here. That works just as good. Should fit. Nice. Oh wow, fits right on the tracks. Oh, there we go. All right, so it's got to go on the opposite side of the track. So not inside, not that side, but this side, and then it'll spin. It got me nervous there for a second. As long as it spins, we are golden. Great, so the print already started. As you can see, it's going to take about 2 hours and 14 minutes for this side, another 2 hours for the other side, but that's okay. We've got plenty of time and plenty of spools. Knowing that moving forward, you can always, when you print it, you can select which color you want. You can always change the sequences, have a video that shows you how to do that. But in this particular case, we want to test the quality and see if it's just as good as all the other brands, especially if it's cheaper. As you can see, so far so good. Everything's running smoothly. The filament spooler holder is holding really well. It's turning really slowly. Just remember, for my particular case, it doesn't go on the inside track. I mean the outside track, it actually goes on the inside track so that you can get it to turn. Or, you know, your printer might be different. In my case, this is what works for me. What works for you might be the opposite. Okay, and there we go. Kind of neat, huh? It's nice and white, and we'll choose another color once this is done. All right, so our print's done. Ideally, you want to leave something like that on the bed for 15 or 20 minutes so that it cools off, because when it's warm, it will become flexible and bend, and then it won't fit into the CFS system and spin thoroughly. So knowing that moving forward, let's have a look and see how it did. Great. So this is the other half that we have in green. See, ideally, when you let the prints cool off, they do much better. Could let it cool off some more. Did use a lot, almost about, we'd say 50%, right, of the 200. We can tell from here if we pull it out on the side. I wonder if it has a number, like the gauge, so we can see how much was actually used. No, so you'll have to keep an eye out on the when you print it, when you do a print preview on your slicer will tell you how much filament it used. Just take off the remnants from here so that we can get it ready for the next print, which is the other half. This looks really nice. Look at that. Center hub, it's labeled. I'll put that right there, and I think it cooled off long enough to actually be able to remove it as easy as 1, 2, 3, and voila. Nice. color can we use next? Let's see what we got. Let's see if this fits. This goes like this. See? Wow, perfect fit. Look at that. Really nice. Okay, so we're going to remove the white one. Just a tad tricky, so we need to be able to spin it and find a nice home for it. And there we go. And we're going to try it without its better half, but with a different color, of course. Most likely we'll have to store these somewhere. See, there isn't a indicator that tells us how much we use, so you'll probably have to go back into the STL file and look at the preview, and it'll tell you how much was used, and you just subtract from there. Let's say 58 minus 200, right? Geez. Keep this one back in the box. Probably want to put it in a Ziploc bag. Then we have that. A solid color. Hopefully, that'll get us where we need to go. What's this one? Interesting. Doesn't say. It says, oh, it's gray. Because then we can put both spools in later and maybe do like a combination of both when it comes to whatever we print next. Everything is freshly packed. Vacuum sealed, really. Let's see what we got. Oh, really nice. Nice gray. There we have it. So we're going to do this color. No, we actually already have that one. So we're going to use that half and this half. So let's move this one out of the way. All right. And then we'll put this here like that. Well, fits perfectly. And here, this part you always cut, find a little hole. And then now, ideally, as long as this holds until I just move this here so that you guys can see. Really nice. See? Spin it all the way around. This is a really nice print though. Amazing. All the work, I'm sure, and versions that had to go into making sure that this works just right for you. And there we go. That's pretty tight. We know how to put it on. I'll show you how to do that. And now we'll just put it on the printer. May have taken this out too soon, but we can just put that like that. All right, so come. Okay, so it doesn't matter which side is left or right. What matters is that it goes in the correct way that it'll be feeding into the printer, right? As you can see, it goes on the inside track. And now we're just gonna go to the printer and send the feed in. There we go, there's one, that's normal. It's just gonna feed each filament individually. That's why I always leave it on, because it's just gonna run through this whole cycle over again. Perfect. You can see it's feeding in. See, there it goes, retracting all the way around. And finally, the last color. And this one you can see a little bit better. You watch, there goes the green. And that's it. Now we're good to go. No more flashing lights. Great, so we've already set the filament up on the new filament spool. So no job too big or too small, or no matter what size the spool is. Knowing that, moving forward, we're gonna go here to our spool adapter right here. Select it and go here, start printing. The color is not going to be orange. It's going to be in the same spot as the white, as long as you know what color is there. It's not white. It's actually, you know, gray. All right. I could have put it in the gray spot, but I'm going to leave my gray there because we're going to remove it anyway. But in the next part, I'll show you how to change the colors inside the slicer so that each one corresponds and correlates to what's in there. All right. Knowing that, moving forward, we'll press print. And that's it. So now we'll have a set for 2. Once it's complete, we'll have 2 spools in there and see how it prints when it retracts and sets things moving forward. All right, catch you guys on the flip side. Great, as you can see, it's working out really well. Colors coming out. It's a little bit of a lighter gray compared to the darker gray that we use. So here it is right here. And we'll catch you guys on the flip side when it is done. Great, so it's done. It's kind of like a Etch-a-Sketch kind of gray, but really nice and cool, like the Tin Man. All right, let's remove it. This one should come off really easily. Remember, we didn't wait for this one to cool, So it might be a little bit harder to take off, but you want to make sure you don't bend anything because, as we know, this frame is really fragile and flexible. So let's take it off, bend it a little bit like that. This one should come off easily. Oh, nice, look at that. Wow, spacer hub. Bend the build plate, not the print. And we should be able to take it from the middle. See? Put this back on, like this. And voila, now we've got our two parts that we can bring over and put the rest of the filament and put one here and one there. We'll move this out of the way, and then now we should be able to take this one. It's a nice bluish greenish color filament, and we'll go on top like that. Oh, really nice that this one's holding down, as we know that's a spacer. And now, make sure the filament seeds all the way in. And then we'll do the same thing with this one. Most of the parts should be interchangeable, which is great. You know, it doesn't have to be yellow, yellow, orange, orange, gray, gray, green, green, meaning the spacers. You can actually hold it and then just let it seed that way. And as it goes in, and that's fine. And then flip this around. Remember, it has to be flush against the wall. And then we'll put these in the printer. You know how they go in, so I'll just seed them in so you guys can just watch the setup here so we know which filament goes where. Okay, so we have the blue here and the red blue there. So you have to remember which is in which so that when we go to the printer, we can configure it so that everything works just right. So come. Okay, so we're going to show you a project here that we have to set up so that it correlates to what's happening inside the printer so things will work just right for you. So as you can see here, this is the star that fidget that we want to print. And by default, some STL files, they have colors in there. And you're like, wait, I don't have those colors. These are my colors right there. So what you want to do is you want to go to Device, and then from Device on the bottom side, you're going to click on the color, for example, white. And that white, we actually have like a blue there. Select OK, and then right there, OK again. Now that orange we replace with like a blue red. Now, unfortunately, we can't do a mix of colors on this slicer. So we're going to choose something like that, close to it, right? It does have like a more prominent color, whatever color stands out more, which is that pinkish it has going on. And then we'll click OK. And then after you click OK again, now we can go back to prepare, right? And then hopefully, well, we should see, it took a while for it to catch up, but our colors are right there. And now we can change this one. So we go here. And if it has two colors, leave the two. If it has four, you can add the four. But in this case, again, we're going to select it, click on the eyedropper, and that blue we're going to change for our bluish that we have. Close it, see, and it changed it. And the red, we don't have red. We're going to take the eyedropper, and then we're going to put it on that mixed color with the more prominent color that sticks out, see? And now we can change them from here by double tapping the print, and then you can do it reverse like that, like if we did like this, see? Or if you wanted to, you can use the paint tool and do it that way. Or what we can do is we can go back to our print by selecting there, and then when we slice it, right? And when we select print, send to printer, we can reverse the colors or change them to something else. So in this case, we can change the blue to that, and then vice versa. But in this case, we're not, because we're testing out to see if, you know, how it works out. So in this case, we're just going to press Start Print, and we will leave it as is, and go back to prepare, and catch you guys on the flip side. All right, so our print's done. There it is. Kind of neat, huh? Should come right off since we let it cool off. Wow, this is nice. Oh, wow, look at how it just, that is amazing. Wow, hold on, let's bring it over here. These are the kind of prints I like, that print right off the bed and that have moving parts that just don't stick. This is a really nice fidget. And the bearing in the middle, that is unheard of, phenomenal. I would definitely recommend other STL files from this creator. See how it's a little faint because it's not a darkish red, but you know, this was the one that we chose because it's a multicolor. But this is phenomenal. Wow. Anyway, gotta love it. That's pretty much it. Kind of neat, huh? Now you have other alternatives when it comes to your filament. I'll leave a link to this in the description down below. And I hope that this video helped you. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them down below. Or ideas for other videos. Remember to like and subscribe. And we'll see you all next time.